Hi, Cheryl Cook here, the Business Growth Coach, answering your questions. Here's a question from Tamara. Question is, how do I protect my privacy on social media sites? Well, there's a number of ways that you protect your privacy, and I'm not sure exactly where your question is going in particular, but I'm going to address a number of things. On social media, you're going to be smart, just like you are in real life. So just like I don't announce to my neighbors, I'm going to be gone for a week, my house will be unwatched, I don't do the same thing. I don't announce that kind of thing on social media as well. I'm going to a conference, I look forward to attending a certain conference. If both my husband and I were going to be gone at the same time, I would make sure that if that's the kind of security that you're worried about, I would make sure that those kinds of things were taken care of. So I don't necessarily publicize exactly where I'm going to be. Not that I expect that anybody's going to be tracking me down and looking for me at those, but I'm just smart about where I'm at, what I'm talking about, and what I'm revealing to folks in terms of my privacy. Now, if your question is more about the privacy of clients, I of course don't reveal things about my clients that they wouldn't want known to the world, like they've just been awarded some prestigious award by a well-known organization. That kind of thing my clients love me to publicize. But I'm not talking about any kind of privacy issues with my publicizing that on social media for sure. So if that was kind of the privacy angle you were looking at, that would be my answer there. The other thing is in particular about recognizing when your privacy is about to be invaded, perhaps by a spammer, someone who is not ethical. So there's a number of things that go on there, and this, applies to anyone in business. Whether you're getting an email that's from a bank that wants certain information from you, you have to first evaluate, do I really have an account with that bank? I don't. So that's easy. That's just hit delete. If they're wanting you to give certain information, I would approach it more from the standpoint of I have a trusted login and website address that I go to on a normal basis for my bank, for various accounts that I go to. I'm going to go to that trusted account rather than a link that someone else has given me. And if all else fails, always give whoever is trying to give you information, go to a trusted source in terms of a telephone number that you've always used. You can go in that direction as well. I always look at, in social media especially, you may get, say on Twitter, I may get direct messages from someone that I'm following who has sent me a link for me to go check something out, And if it's, I've just started following them and I immediately get a automated reply back, I typically do not click on those links. Not that any of those are bad. But if that's the first interaction, we talked last time about, how you interact with people on social media. If the second thing out of your mouth when I met you in person would be, oh, go buy this, I have a tendency not to do that. The same thing is true on social media. If the first thing you want me to do is check out one of your links, it may be something I want, but it may be something the other person wants me to buy, whether I wanted it or not. So that's just my tendency is until I've established a relationship with them, I typically don't go click on their links. So it has to be something I'm comfortable with. I will tell you that there is one particular message that I get over and over again, and you could just be alert to these kind of things. If you've seen the message before, then, and it's very similar wording, if words are misspelled, and maybe the grammar's not correct, sometimes that's a big clue as well. So the one message that I get on some occasion is folks are saying awful things about you. Go check out this link. So the first time I thought, this doesn't sound like the kind of message I would typically get from this person. So if I have another connection to that person, I'll send a message to them another way and say, did you send me a direct message on Twitter? So there's ways for you to be smart about your security. The same thing is true when you get emails. Is it the kind of message that you would normally receive from this person? That gives you a clue as to whether that's, oftentimes if you've got, a Hotmail, a Gmail, a Yahoo, or some kind of email address like that, they'll get hacked on some occasion, and a message goes out to like everyone on the list. Well, the best thing to do then is contact your connection and let them know that perhaps their account has been hacked. But in general, I am just smart about security in all different ways. When you're on the internet, you just approach it very intelligently, like you would in your everyday life that's not on the electronic media. So that's my approach there. One other thing that I would say is if you're using security on social media, you're not sure about the security issues, I would ask you if that's perhaps an excuse for not getting involved. So sometimes we tell ourselves stories that are really just excuses for us not to do things. The other question that I wanted to address, this one comes from Pat. I have a downline of 84 consultants. How do I keep them motivated and keep my group sales up? Well, you're in a position as a leader, just like if you have employees. It's a little bit different when you have a downline, because each of these consultants in your downline, they may be motivated for different reasons. Their why for being in the business could be different than your why. Their reason for being in the business could be different than your why. So part of it is you have to understand what their why is and communicate to them the mission. I'll say that when I was a leader of an organization, a professional organization, where it's not like when you have employees and you can say, do this or else. What you have to do is get them very vested, very emotionally tied to the mission of the organization. So what is it that you're all about? Why did you get in? Share that with your folks. The other thing, as a leader, you have to demonstrate by actions, not just by words, what you'd like them to do. So you undoubtedly, if you've built a large organization like this, you undoubtedly have done lots of the right things. So how do you demonstrate to them and over again become the cheerleader for those folks? If you're not excited about it, there's no way that you can expect that your downline's going to be excited about it. I think about, everything that we do in life, hate to sound like a broken record, but it actually comes back to marketing. So I realized this when I was on a trip recently to my niece's high school graduation. First rest stop I was at, I pulled out my cell phone and sent a text to my husband. Missing you already. It's really, everything we do is marketing. I was reinforcing to my husband how much I was missing him already, even just at my first rest stop. So whether you're marketing to folks who haven't yet heard about you and you're trying to tell them the story of what you're doing, or you're marketing to your downline or to your staff, you're really still marketing. You're getting the word out there to your downline, encouraging them, helping them to put into action the kinds of things that you know have been successful for you. So one of the comments I get from folks is how I'm able to craft a message in multiple ways. Because I don't know that necessarily my first message is going to touch an emotional button with you. And I talk about a different angle the next time I send out that message. Because that may push the emotional button for you. That may be, she's talking right to me. But it may be the third way that I actually communicate a message that may hit the target for you. The same is true of your downline. So think about how you are communicating your message. Everyone learns differently and everyone has a little different why. But communicating that mission and vision that you have for the organization and helping them to see you in action, you doing the very things that you've talked about. That's what a true leader is all about. So I wanted to just give you an idea of some questions that I'm going to cover in the very next video. And here are a couple of questions that are very similar. They're about how do I convince the market that they want my product or service. And one that I bet each one of you has had an issue with is how do you keep track of new people you meet at networking events when, you know, time gets away from you and you haven't followed up with them. So I'm going to be talking about those the next time we get together. But before I forget, and I keep telling you about the B.A.P, and I wanted to reveal to you exactly what a B.A.P is. And I'm going to give you an assignment too. I know each one of you has a B.A.P. So what is a B.A.P? The B.A.P is a big-ass problem that you have in your business. Oops, yes, I did actually say that. So what is the B.A.P, the big-ass problem in your business? I want you to write it down. What is it that blocks you? What is it that holds you back? Take just a minute, jot it down. I'm going to talk with you the next time about how you're going to actually overcome your B.A.P. Look forward to chatting with you next time. Come back here and we'll answer those last few questions for you, and look forward to sharing that with you. This is Cheryl Cook, the Business Growth Coach. Here's to your success.